at the moment, good or bad, depending on your view. He's clearly, it seems to most impartial observers, making a bit of a dash to be a front runner for the Republican nomination, perhaps, in 2016, and that's his real agenda here. But what's good for Ted Cruz and his personal political career might be disastrous for the American people, if not his own party. What is your view of his behavior?
Well, I think that one of the things we all should do right now is not talk about personality. What we should be talking about is how we make certain that we get this nation on the track to fiscal health and responsibility. And one of the things we cannot do is continue borrowing $2 billion a day to keep the lights on. And regardless of whether we like someone or don't like someone, what we have to realize is we've been through a process of people who were elected by their constituents to come to D.C. and express the point of view, and so many of us have constituents who say, look, jobs, the economy, getting us on the road to fiscal health, returning us to where we are going to see jobs growth, where we're going to see economic growth. That is item number one. Dealing with the impact of Obamacare on the economy, that's an important thing to do. And Piers, we come, everybody bringing their best ideas and their best thoughts, and what we have right now is another deadline. I wish we weren't here, but we are.
But Marsha Blackburn, the problem is it may be the best idea and the best thoughts for you and for Ted Cruz, but like I say, these best ideas and thoughts might be absolutely catastrophic ones Piers, for the American people and the global economy. At what point does the outright selfish self-interest of Ted Cruz and his colleagues outweigh the American interest and the global economic interest?
There again, I think that what we don't do is talk about personalities as we're up against.
Marsha.
No. What we have to do is say, how do we deal with the debt ceiling and the debt? No,
well,
this is what we need to put it.
Marsha, Ted Cruz doesn't stop talking about Barack Obama's personality.
This dealt with. We didn't want a government shutdown. We don't want to have a default on the debt. What we are doing, what House Republicans have done, is we have passed 4 different continuing resolutions and a budget. And, you know, Piers, look at it like this. 28 bills we have passed since they last took their vote.
You've been unbelievably responsible, which is why the government's been shut down for 2 weeks. Let me ask you this.
Well, we wish it weren't shut down.
Well, I know you do, but sadly it is, and it's down to Ted Cruz. No, let me ask you this, Marsha Blackburn.
Yes.
Obviously, you didn't want the government shut down, but it has shut down. But it already has for 2 weeks. Do you want the debt ceiling to run into default? Are you prepared to take that risk?
Absolutely not.
So what will you will you be doing as a party to avoid that?
I continue to work with other Republicans in the House to see if we can find a resolution to this issue. We did not want to get right here to the last minute. What I want to see is us work through a plan so that we're dealing with our long-term fiscal issues. Borrowing the amount of money that we are borrowing every day is not a sustainable position.
Let me go back to Jim Hines.
Every economist around here tells us that.
No, every economist around here tells me what is going on is utter nonsense and should never have been able to get this far.
But the borrowing is a part of that nonsense.
No, there are many issues to do with Obamacare and the American economy and all sorts of things. What you don't do is shut the government down over what is a law. Let me turn back to Jim Hines. I mean, look, you know, you can take a view about this. It's all Ted Cruz's fault and so on. Or you can say politically, for him and the Tea Party element of the Republicans, he seems to be holding all the cards, playing them very adeptly, making himself extremely famous and probably, as I say, a front runner for a presidential run. But how do we get to a stage where President Obama, who so far has not managed to stop this shutdown and is on the brink of this awful debt ceiling deadline elapsing, how is he going to get into a room and make people see sense? At the moment, you have to say he has not shown great leadership, because if he had, he'd have got this sorted.
Look, it's